Thoughts. I'm Chris.
I'm Adam.
I'm Old Man Jenkins.
And I'm Dakota.
Today we're talking songwriting with our special guest Dakota Boggs of the band Tuesday Atlas. All right, let's get into it. So, gear news. How you doing, Dakota?
Oh, I'm doing fabulous. I don't have to
Awesome.
work today, and that makes life all right. You know?
It does make it all right. I'd ask the other two of you how you're doing, but all right, we're gonna
You don't
move on.
care.
He doesn't care.
It's true. You got gear news for us or anything?
I have no new gear,
Mm-hmm.
but we did see. Do you have gear news, Dakota? You look like you looked excited.
Oh, I was excited to hear what you have. I'm always getting new gear.
I have a lot of stuff in every corner.
I had a trade come through yesterday. I got a Vox Wah. New
Nice.
Vox Wah. Yeah, the V847. I've had it before. This one's modded. True bypass. The EVH inductor, which I still don't know what that actually does. And it's got the LED on it. That's
It
cool.
makes it go.
It does that. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I traded a tuner for it. Oh, and I got an MXR 10 band EQ. Also boring. But yeah.
Super useful.
that comes in handy.
Yeah,
That's
I had one
nice.
before. It shit blinded me.
Yeah.
The LEDs on it are awful. But
Yeah, I need an EQ.
yeah, what did I trade for that? It was something small too. I got a good deal on it. Yeah. Anyway, anything for you?
4 kids, 2 dogs, 6 cats, 2 lizards. No, nothing.
How do you feed yourself?
Did you get any new cats?
I got a lot of ramen, man.
Yeah. Let's see, I got the JBL IRLX12. I got that PA system.
Yeah.
With the Bluetooth. So I turn it on and my wife's phone instantly just hooks up to it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's nice. So that, she'll be scrolling through Instagram or something and you'll just hear somebody scream like, "And that's how toenails go!" Something asinine. I'm playing piano. And that pops in through it because I have it all linked to the same thing.
Nice.
Makes me giggle.
That's pretty awesome.
It works. Yeah. Anywho, that's cool. My only new piece of gear that I'm drooling over.
That's more interesting than what we ended up with. So that's pretty good.
No.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. What about news? New pedals?
The most interesting piece of news I saw last week was the Earthquaker device commissioning a symphony.
What?
Yeah.
That's right. You should.
Yeah, someone commissioned it with them, but they're doing a 4 or 5 piece movement concerto type thing with each movement is utilizing certain pedals with the orchestral instruments.
Okay.
Well, so I guess it's gonna be in Akron next month because that's where they're at.
That's awesome.
Are they're recording it, right? They
Yeah,
have to be,
it's whatever the symphony in that town is.
Are they gonna have a harp?
I don't know. Yeah.
So.
I just saw the blurb about it because I get their emails.
Yeah.
But it sounded cool. I almost bought tickets, but I was like, oh, then I have to drive to Akron that weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it gonna be performed in front of a live
Yeah,
audience?
it's a live show.
Yeah. Man.
But
do a lot of
March
things
has
to
gotten
see
busy, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is very cool. I hope they record it.
Yeah, they better at least do a live thing, a live stream. Yeah. So I saw one, but the pizza fuzz.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You guys see this?
No.
All right, I'll pull it up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yes. So
I could not tell that was not a slice of pizza with guitar pedal knobs and a switch.
yes. So it's
I literally thought it was one of those pranks.
yeah, you'd
I
think,
really
but
need it.
it is
It's a fake mold.
it is Blake from Tone Mob, Chasing Tone, with Big Ear. Oh, did I? Come on. Yeah, and it looks like. Yeah, it's literally a slice of pizza with a yeah.
I saw that they gave you the choice of cheese or pepperoni.
They do. You also get the cheese option.
How durable do you think it is?
It's this thick.
Oh, okay. So it's still a steel chassis.
Yeah.
I think it's just painted very well.
Yeah. That's so cool.
It's Big Ear pedals. They're known for their quality. They're out of Nashville.
They make some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. And kind of some weird stuff too.
Yeah, I don't know how well it would fit on my board.
I think that's. Yeah, I don't even know where the jacks are.
I'm all for trying.
I'm out of room.
I hope they do a series so that way you can get like a full pizza's worth of like.
Just have a
Oh
circular
my
pedal
God,
board.
yes!
Oh, that's what you really need because then you can get a little Caesar's box and then use that as your pedal board.
You can put it on a lazy Susan. That way it spins around. So when you're singing, you take one foot and you move it around to the pedal you want to engage.
I love it.
Yeah, each one's a different kind of pizza.
Hey, big ear pedals. If you use that, throw our names out there.
Yeah.
This is one gimmick I can get behind.
Oh
Yeah.
man. All right, what else we got? That's the wrong one. Nope, that's the right
No,
one.
we're on the right one.
Okay.
So pay to play is sneaking into our
Yeah.
Again?
our
Good job, Fort Wayne.
I thought that went out a while ago.
man. I thought it did too.
We won't like mess it. We're not going to mention any venues because that would be,
yeah.
Dirty.
dirty. But I think Topher got some too.
I got a couple messages.
I got a couple emails from the same place, and then I got emails from another place. They were definitely not the venue. They were definitely a third party.
Yeah.
A ticket place.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
you want to sell some tickets?
You want to sell
and
100
we'll book
tickets
this
and
one?
maybe we'll let you play?
No.
No, I don't. I really don't.
I was really impressed at how like
You're
when you
very
posted
professional.
that, like the entirety of like Fort Wayne musicians was just
was
like
not
what?
was not expecting like that
Yeah.
my rant to be.
The biggest post in Fort Wayne, apparently.
I was like, wait, what? I don't know any of these people.
I just want to point out that like when we purposely try to get things out there and like post for the podcast, we get like 2 likes. One of them's from my mom, and then you post a rant and like 1,000 likes, 15 shares.
So I think what Chris
And
is
all
saying,
that is
Topher,
meaningless.
is that you and I should probably rant a lot on the podcast stuff.
Get
Okay.
after it. Yeah. Speak your mind.
I mean, I'll definitely speak my mind about this. This
Yeah, pay to play,
It's
not
very
cool.
frustrating.
Not
No,
cool.
dude, when I was in high school, the poor metal bands I went to school with would
Oh,
just
yeah.
be hounding people to buy tickets. That's not fair. They're 16 years old. They just
Yeah.
want to play a
Can't
damn
afford
show.
it, yeah.
Well, and I saw like at least the one. I don't know about the other one, but the one is definitely not even a local promoter of any kind. And when you see the like lineups they're booking, you're like, that doesn't make sense. You're like, hey, let's have a metal band and a folk singer, and like
I like
other
mixed genre
things,
shows,
which
but
is fine. But like that's
that's kind of
you can't-
extreme.
it's when you're reaching out to every band in the town
Yeah.
that you can find any info on, just to try and get the more bands you get in and the more tickets
they didn't know what
each
they were
band
just
sells.
doing.
no
They're
care at all
absolutely-
about the show.
How do those people get into the business? Like, what are they sitting around at home? Like, how do we make money without really doing much?
I mean, like
I bet you it's a big
sell
city
some
thing because
tickets.
I know like it's a lot bigger deal in big cities. Like
Yeah.
I bet you, so they probably do it in the bigger cities, and then like probably Indianapolis, I'd imagine, is probably where the promoters are. And then they look and say, all right, well, Fort Wayne, Marion, Evansville, or Bloomington are kind of big, so let's just start sending stuff out and see what happens.
Kind of burning bridges around here. Where else can we go?
Yeah, exactly.
No, thank you.
Like, to me, it's just, I don't have the time and effort to, on top of learning songs, writing songs, practicing songs, to push on my family, hey, you should come out and plan ahead of time, come see me. Like I do, I promote, I'm not saying I don't promote, but I don't want to push them constantly to...
yeah.
you know,
There's
buy from
a
me.
there's like a line right between like
Yeah.
being like promoting your band and trying to like almost harass people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Hey, you want to come to the 3rd show I've played this month?
Yeah.
I need you there, otherwise I
And
can't
Look,
play.
it's not that big a deal. It's 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. You only have to take off 4 hours of work. You know.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what's hard for me to do because, like, I play O's. Like, they don't have to pay to just come see me at O's or a brewery.
Yeah.
As much as we give O's crap on here on occasion, like they do it right. Like that they do how you expect it. You know.
The place if I think there's a couple of legitimate options to pay people, right, for shows, and then there's the ways like that which are not great, but like, O's, it's like, here you're going to get this much money,
This is what
and
you could get
if we
some
have
more.
a great night at the bar, you're going to get more money, which is like,
Yeah.
all right, awesome. That way, like, okay, if I draw and we do well, like, they're going to take care of you, and if it's just an average night, you're still going to get paid.
Yeah.
absolutely.
And you can still play darts. You can still eat pizza.
Yeah.
Exactly.
See, that's key.
And their floor is amazing. I love it.
That's true.
Oh, man.
It's amazingly gross.
Yeah, don't look at it directly.
That's
I
why
watched-
why you pattern floors like that.
It looks great under stage lights.
When what was it? When the
They're not black.
the Cubs?
Yeah.
I don't know when that Chicago baseball team won the World Series.
Cubs, yeah.
We played a show there, and this dude caught himself on stage
Oh.
and was like flailing around. So afterwards, we had to mop up all the blood.
Oh, God.
my God! Wow.
Dude, everybody fled from that side of the room and went to the bar. They're like, "We're just gonna watch the World Series." The dude was super nice. I didn't expect that to happen. If by some chance he sees this, you're great. I just didn't expect it.
That's fair.
It's art, and I do appreciate it.
All right. Let's.
Tangent
Yeah.
ended.
All right. So, anything else to say on pay to play?
No, I think we made our feelings known.
All right.
Stop it.
Did you say something about a boot to a curb?
Now we can't make threats, but if we were going to make threats, yes,
it's a
that's exactly
euphemism.
what. Yeah.
We're just gonna use some symbolism.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So we're moving on to our original riff challenge of the week.
On to today's original riff challenge. We affectionately title this "Puddle of Muddy Waters."
Oh, I'm intrigued.
You shouldn't be.
On a recent tour, the members of Puddle of Mud have had a day off and went exploring a small town outside of Chicago. They happened into a small occult bookstore, and not realizing what book he was reading, their drummer accidentally cast a necromancy spell. Shockingly, the spell actually works. Even more
always
surprising,
necromancy.
the nearest grave belongs to Mr. Mojo himself, Muddy Waters. Upon rising from the grave, the first thing he does is grab hold of a Telecaster with his bony fingers and leads the band into a puddle of muddy waters.
Well done. That's brilliant.
A lot of necromancy with you.
Yeah.
Muddy
You gotta
Waters-
get 'em together.
How do you get them in the same
Yeah.
place?
We had
Yeah,
time
there-
travel once.
There's a pretty big time discrepancy there.
There was either time travel or some mystic arts.
Yeah.
Marvel's used time travel enough
Yeah.
lately. for
Well,
us
we
to
already
go
did a
through
time
it.
travel one, so.
We also had an alternate dimension one. That was a different one, yeah.
Oh,
All right, so here we go. Here's mine.
I'm very uncomfortable.
That was.
you got it.
I'm delightfully uncomfortable.
That was.
I mean, I did switch 2 chords around.
You know what I really
Oh,
learned
from
from
the Meta Girl song? Yeah.
You know what I learned from this is all of us only know one Puddle of Mud song.
Yeah, that's the only song I know.
We
That and
will-
that schizophrenic psycho.
Oh, I forgot about that
Take
one.
it all away. What is that?
Yeah.
I know more than I should.
I'm more familiar with just hearing about him not being able to sing live. I've heard the stories.
That's fair.
Watch the story.
Wasn't there though, so I can't confirm.
So another thing I've kind of learned from doing these is if you just copy most any of the old blues players, it just sounds like what they were trying to do originally is copy all the because everybody's just trying to copy all the old blues guys.
Well, and like for Muddy, like you think of Muddy Water, he's like the kind of the first like electric blues, like it's a like grandfather of blues electrified. So it's like he had a Telecaster and plugged into whatever shitty amp you could get, and there wasn't much else in there. So and old recordings are like, if it's dirty, it's because it's just an old recording.
Fair enough. Yeah. I did not use a Telecaster on this. So, yeah, I call this Muddy Puddles. This is just another man.
I like it.
Yeah.
I feel like you were going the same direction, but you weren't as completely like.
Parent.
Yeah,
I figured I would
you
get
made it
shit.
less. You made it less obvious.
yeah, yours was just like right on the nose.
So next week's, I entirely said, you know what? Screw you, copyright.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair warning.
We're getting closer and closer to that. Every episode.
We haven't been flagged yet.
The letter hasn't arrived on the door.
That's not wood.
Cease.
I put the F sharp before the A instead of after.
Wait, F sharp.
That's the trick.
I've been playing it in the wrong key this whole time anyway. I was playing it at F.
Yeah. It's like E, A, F sharp, B.
Yeah. So I don't know. I reversed some.
Do they play in standard?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't want to have to research Puddle of Mud.
Probably
that much.
doesn't.
Really, you just pull up default settings for 90s or late 90s, early 2000s butt rock,
Yeah, true.
and you'll probably find a Schecter guitar. And
I
couldn't
pulled up
tell you
an
from there.
orange, just crunch tone out of Logic is all that was.
okay,
Yeah.
well, you guys nailed it.
Just Google if
Nirvana
was trash. Google.
I have to judge.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you judge.
This was
Move
a
on.
pretty mediocre week.
Let's see. If we're going for like authenticity, Adam takes the cake because it sounds like they actually did it.
You also probably know more Muddy Waters than I do too. So,
I mean, I know like a handful.
which is more Muddy Waters than
Oh,
I
okay.
know. Yeah.
I think they both got the point across pretty well. Yeah.
But as far as like what I enjoy listening to, I like Chris's.
Well, I would rather listen to
Yours kind of like
Yes.
because mine makes me think of
Met a
Puddle of Mud, and
girl.
I would never listen to them.
I would have never listened to either of
Kinda-
those two.
Yours kind of reminded me of like some Beach Boy kind of like bouncy
All right.
like some
Alright.
surf kind of. It was nice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. All right, I'll take it. All right, let's move on from that travesty.
No, I
yeah.
like that a lot though. Good. A for creativity on the both of you.
Yeah,
It's a cool segment.
We've had better year, better versions of it.
What
Let
was
me tell you.
the episode that
The one that we had.
David on
David on
was
was, like-
AC/DC covering Sesame
yeah
Street.
that one.
What?
Yeah,
Like,
and he killed it, man. Like destroyed it. It was awesome.
It was very cool.
Yeah, that was a good one. I liked the Pantera and Simon and Garfunkel. That was another good one.
Well,
So are these all mashup thought experiments that you're doing each
Pretty
week?
much,
Pretty much,
just
yeah.
whatever we can come
That
up
sounds
with.
like fun.
Yeah, if you'd like to be involved
You
in
can,
one,
you can
yeah.
you're welcome
Send
to
me a
submit
list.
one.
I'll just get on my loop pedal and then try to figure out. Like I said, I'm technologically defunct.
All good.
So I'll try to figure out how to put it into the magic electronic device and
he's
email it your way.
He's done some that are just like recorded on his phone in an acoustic. So like whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
we
how
did
I do most of them.
We did a Bob Dylan one that that I did not do well with. I just recorded it on my phone. It was bad.
Probably sound. I love Bob Dylan.
I do too, but it sounded very much like the
It
old
was
school.
it was supposed to be supposed to be Bob Dylan fronting Metallica.
That's what it was.
Did we talk about this? Do you like War on Drugs?
Do I like War
I
on
just
Drugs?
learned it and I love it.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
If,
so good.
if I'm on a 1 to 16 hour trip, there will be 1 to 3 hours of War on Drugs.
Nice.
Dude,
I don't
it's
ever
so
look at the
good.
album names.
Yeah,
I just
dude.
put them on.
Yeah, I started putting on their essentials just because like just
Have you seen any of their live?
keep going, just keep going. Yeah, I watched the Tiny Desk one and I love it.
I didn't get to watch that one yet. I still like.
They're great, and I love his voice. Oh,
I
reminds me of Bryan Adams. And
He reminds me a lot of
yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
like a just Bryan Adams,
Wait,
but with better music
what?
and better
Who
lyrics.
did you say? You said the Eagles. The dude.
Yeah, he made me think of like his
Boys
voice
of
like
Summer.
Dylan a
Yeah.
bit.
I mean, there's so many. There's
Yeah.
some you can hear so many
Like
different
70s era.
influences from different
Like-
things.
Is that when Dylan did he start playing an electric guitar or something?
That was like
That'd
late
have been
60s.
The Monterey Festival.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like Nashville Skyline.
And then-
Yeah.
and then there was a
Yeah.
like then I thought they sounded a little bit like Grateful Dead and some things, and then like I heard a Grateful Dead cover. I was like, oh shit!
Wait, which Grateful Dead cover did they do?
Especially like 80s, like Grateful Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've got a lot of like chorusy kind of effects. And
I don't know much of the Grateful Dead.
I
I
don't
know a touch of gray.
Hey, is that,
Probably no
That's
Friend of the
about.
Devil.
It's
Usually
about it.
people
It's
know
not
Friend of
something
the
I'm-
Devil, Touch of Grey, and cocaine.
Casey Jones.
Casey Jones, that's it.
It's,
Yeah.
it's not a band I listen to a lot, but I appreciate.
They're good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, sorry.
yeah.
cool.
My tangent there.
I'm going to keep that diversion in this, just so you're aware. All right, so moving on to our main segment, we're talking about songwriting this week.
Here we go.
I'll let you do all the introductions for this part. Yeah,
Cool.
You got some stuff in there.
All right. Since we've got Dakota here with us today, we thought it'd be a great week to focus on talking about songwriting. Since we've got a group of
It's
them.
my favorite part of music.
Me too.
Onward.
Let's start. I wrote out a few different like kind of talking points to get us started. I want to maybe like process.
Wait,
like-
let's introduce like
Oh,
where
yeah.
we found. Where do we find you? Like,
Where-
what do you
oh.
do? What do you do?
So,
did we
It
just
was
grab you
it
up?
was in the alley.
So I let all of my reflections out through a band called Tuesday Atlas. That we're on all those social media platforms except Twitter because no, thank you. I'm also terrible at keeping up social media. Skylar does that. He's just better at paying attention. I go on tangents really easily, so I don't keep up with it very well. But yeah, we're available anywhere you want to hear us. And primarily, I'm the main skeletal songwriter for Tuesday Atlas, mainly just because anytime something happens, I just get a little itch. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pick up my guitar. Not in the heat of it. It's usually after things start to fall apart and you've already like gone off the cliff and you've recovered. Then I reflect and I'll start writing. Yeah.
So you guitar and vocals, or guitar?
Yeah,
anything else on it too, or?
For the band, no. I play drums and I'm learning piano.
Fair enough.
I love
Yeah.
piano. I cannot wait to master it. I wanted to have it down by 25, and I didn't have a piano by 25. So here I am at 26, and
Okay.
by 30, if I'm not writing half my songs on piano, I might be a little not irritated or upset. Just guitar's my baby.
Understand.
Yeah.
So we're gonna ask some questions, mostly directed at you, but we'll spread it out too, since I think these two have wrote a song or two at a time.
couple.
Once in a while.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. So I thought it'd be fun first to talk kind of about process, because every songwriter is a little different. So for you, what comes first? Are you lyrics, music, and if it's music, is it is it a melodic thing, chord structure, kind of just what's your like home base?
That depends. That's a yes and answer. Most of the time, I'll get a guitar riff around because I'll just be diddling. I'm like, oh, it fell into place. And if I'm really feeling it and I find a vocal melody, I'll just turn on my phone and put it on the music stand and just record it until it hits like 3, maybe 5 minutes. It depends on the time. And then I'll use that as like my framework for the song. And I might forget about it for 6 months even, but I'll go through my videos and be like, oh, I really like that. So then from there, I'll start to go through and really tear it apart and maybe write some real lyrics for it. But if the lyrics seem thematic on their own, like from the ad-lib version, I'll keep most of them. I'll just try to make them make sense. Like sometimes they don't make sense, and they don't necessarily need to make like sense in the traditional sense, as long as it sounds like a poem. But I do, especially now with what we're doing now, because I'm doing motif work on the new our new album that we're working on. But in the past, it was just that one song was really what I was worrying about. Yeah, does that cover that?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
okay. Cool.
Yeah, I think everybody has their own tricks and tips and ways, or just ways that they kind of work. I
Yeah,
guess.
What about you guys?
How do you guys start?
There's never any sort of consistency for me. It's either I have some lyrics that I'm building around, or there's a riff that I've made. I'm like, well, now I got to figure out something that goes along with this. Because there's been some times where I've got a riff that I've never put any lyrics to, just because it just doesn't really fit. But like, it would be forced if I tried to put anything to it. But yeah, usually I think normally lyrics come first, but it doesn't matter for me.
Okay. Yeah. For me, I have a couple of ways that I write, I guess. Sometimes it's just me. If I'm feeling like blocked, I'll just sit and I'll just play guitar or play an instrument, or sometimes getting on a keyboard or a synth, even though I'm not great at it, just because sometimes that helps that I'm not. And you go, oh, well, that was interesting. So sometimes it's musical spark things. Other times for me, I've got probably like 80 voice memos on my phone right now.
Cool.
Because I'll especially when I don't always have a lot of time, but when I'm driving, I'll turn the radio off sometimes if I have a thought, and I'll just turn it on and sing and kind of track either melodic ideas or lyrical ideas that way. Mm-hmm. And then later on, you just listen back. You're like, nope, that was shit. Nope, that's not great. And then, oh, hey, that was pretty good. Let me do something with that.
Does it take longer for you to write a song when you start with the vocals?
Not necessarily. I think it just depends. It depends on complexity, I think, a little
Makes
bit.
sense.
I think normally for me, it's actually quicker if I start with lyrics.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your process for that?
My lyrics are like if I've got something all written out, then I can just piece like, oh, what note fits what I'm singing right here?
Yeah.
And then I just build around that. But as long as I have everything laid out, shit, it's easy.
Dude, that's awesome.
Come to think of it, yeah. Every time like you and I have done something together, you say, "I've got these lyrics. Play me something." I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
Like what kind of something? I don't know, play me something."
Like this story, start to finish, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Piece it all in there.
My lyrics usually just come out of nowhere. Well, they don't come out of nowhere. They come from the subconscious, but I don't plan them. They spew themselves out.
Yeah,
okay,
for sure.
I didn't know I was dealing with this. Here it is. All right.
Yeah, that's a good way. I think that's
And that,
for a lot of people. That's it
feels natural.
It's catharsis.
That's the best
my
way
therapy.
for me to have. I guess this is kind of going into the inspiration part here. Next part here.
That's fine.
But yeah, that's the best. That's the best way for me to write a song. Is if there's something that is going on, if I'm forcing a subject, like just trying to like, oh, what can I write about? It's not gonna flow as well, and it's not gonna come out. But if I've got something that I'm thinking about and I want to say something about, it flows so easy. I can have it done within like an hour.
Dude, that's awesome. Do you have to do a lot of editing afterwards?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like sometimes the best. It's different for everybody. For me personally, I think sometimes the best songs that I've written are ones that are done in a matter of an hour or two.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes I might tweak a lyric here or there afterwards, but if it takes me, like if you have to write a couple lines and come back a few days later and work a little bit here, I feel like sometimes it just becomes more disjunct.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
losing your train.
Do you guys do any thought experiments when you're writing? Like, do you, like on the song structure, do you just try to stick with an A-B, or do you really try to mix it up from song to song?
I try mixing it up, but it's usually pretty straightforward. A,
Yeah.
B. I think with in El Camino we tried doing that for a few things where we would throw different sequences in there, but yeah, normally it's pretty straightforward.
People like straightforward most of the time, honestly. I mean,
see, but then that's like
you can do different though.
like I've mentioned to you, I like prog rock. I like
Yeah.
I like stuff with. I love music that isn't straightforward like that and isn't consistent patterns, but it is a bit harder for me to get it out there like that.
So, like, I'm not like I don't do the regular like singer songwriter thing because I'm not that great of a singer.
Shut up.
Yeah,
Fine.
but no, it's whatever. But when I'm writing music, like when I'm scoring stuff, like it's usually kind of the opposite of that because I can't do like if you're writing for like large orchestra and shit, you can't do A-B. Like, it's not how it works.
No, no, you're telling a story.
Yeah, so most of the time it's like 8-bar phrases, and then I'll sit down, boom, boom, throw that out, throw out an idea, end up with like 90 different files of like all this stuff and then try to piece it together into something that makes sense for key and all that thing.
Yeah.
So I have never been able to just sit down and say, I'm going to write there. Like, even if I have an idea, like I usually don't, it's bad. I don't have an attention span. It doesn't matter. Like, doesn't matter even if I'm into it. Like after about 15 minutes, it's like, nope, don't got nothing until I've had all of the bones are there.
Yeah.
Once the bones are there, I can sit down for 6 hours, put it all together. But
And there's like so many more forms of and things like that for orchestral stuff than what you think of like typically with a songwriter.
Well, you also, and like you guys kind of brought this point up, like technology has changed how we all do things. Yeah. Like the voice memo thing is like huge.
Yeah.
For me, it's the use of the DAW. Like I used to try to do everything in Finale or like actual like notation writers or Guitar Tab or something like that, and I couldn't get anything out. Like it would get a little bit of the way there and then stop. Once I got like Logic in that, I can sit down and like actually hammer out ideas.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, that seems to have changed the whole.
You remember that leather book I used to carry around
Yeah,
for lyrics and
you
stuff,
did.
and like it was, I kind of missed that because of like the uniqueness of that book. I have little doodles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool, but trying to read some of my handwriting sometimes was a challenge. To, like remember actually what was there, and like flipping through to figure out to organize it all was kind of a nightmare. So that's one thing about the notepad and the phone that has helped. But
the only downfall I've had to the phone thing is if I go out of standard tuning on guitar, I can't figure out what I did.
Oh, really?
Like if I put it in drop C or something or like an open tuning and then go back, I'm like, that's awesome. What did I do there? I'll never get back to it.
I'll notate that on the videos, like the title for it. I'll be like, this is in that tuning.
Whatever.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
Usually it's half step, but we've been doing drop tuning lately.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's been a lot of fun.
I should these days. I know to stay either in standard or drop C, but before it was like it could be anywhere, and then those notes got lost to lost to time.
You just need a baritone guitar.
Yeah.
Then you go. It was either in my normal guitar or I just played the same thing on the baritone.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah.
Oh,
that sounds expensive.
but they're so fun.
Oh yeah, I know. I need one.
Same.
One of these days.
It's on my to-do list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess next, right? So we kind of talked about inspiration, I guess. Let's go to as far as like writing, like specific kind of things. So when you're thinking about, maybe this isn't something everybody thinks about, but I always try and think about the listener, like what's gonna like how are they gonna perceive it? How are they gonna be drawn into wanting to listen to this? Is that something you guys think about at all?
no.
So if
like why someone wants to listen to it, I guess. Like what are they? Is this something that somebody's going to get something out of?
that's why I record them so that I can listen back to it as a listener. Generally, I tend to open up with hooks on most of the songs because you want somebody in the first 30 seconds to find something that isn't going to allow them to say, you know what, Spotify, next track. I don't like that. But occasionally, if it fits the motif of what you're doing, and especially if it's in a compilation of songs, like let's say you're doing a themed album, then you can have a song that's set in that series that completely breaks that foundation. There's no hook protocol at the beginning. It's just A, B, C, D, E. There's no structure to the song. It changes from scene to scene.
Do you find that writing those hooky parts are a lot more difficult, or is it just is that something that's...
The hook comes first,
The hook
usually.
comes first? Yeah. Okay, cool.
And usually it's like the verse hook, and then I do a chorus. I've been playing around with it lately because my drummer's been giving me a lot of crap. Anytime something starts to feel the same, he's like, I'll only start downbeat and then I'll upbeat. Okay. I'll try to appease you because I want you to be interested. And he's probably right to an extent. So from the album we're about to put out to the new songs now, I mean, they went from being maybe 4 minutes to 7 minutes long to we have an intro that's 2 minutes long now. That's just one idea. It's the main motif riff that comes out through this series of songs. So it goes from like 2 minutes to 3 or 3.5 minutes, or shorter for the attention span, and more more thought-based. Like when we put out Hell Has a Sound, the thought experiment on that was, what can I do with one riff? And then taking the accompanying instruments, so the bass and guitar and the vocals, and changing the actual harmonies to the melody to make it feel like something's changing when I'm doing the exact same guitar riff the whole time.
Yes,
You know?
dude.
Because that's the thought experiment. What can you do with as little as possible to make it sound like it's huge?
That's kind of what I've been lately, man. Like,
it.
yeah, like there, you can have 2-chord songs that are so unique just by what else you're adding to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many songs that you like can in the first 5 seconds you can instantly identify it, even if there's 100 other songs that have that same progression, the same whatever.
Well, it's very Beethoven, right? Like taking like a small motif, you're repeating it throughout, like to make it a whole big thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's tried and true.
I think when it comes to using motifs, you should have a motif. I mean, we shouldn't use the word should. There we go. I just used it twice. But I think it's healthy to try to create a motif both in your music, but also in your lyrical content, if you're planning something out. Like the arc of the past 3 series of songs that we've been working on go from recognizing that you have a problem, or actually just suffering from a problem, realizing that you have the problem and that you keep reacting to it and getting yourself looped back into it. It's like, why does this problem keep freaking happening to me? And now the new one is more about the liminality of being in between places, realizing that you're growing and you're letting go of all these things that used to seem like a huge part of your identity. And it's nothing. It's like you can break the coffee cup and it's still in your memory. It doesn't matter. So you just grow past it. Because if you hold on to all these concepts, it'll go. And I've been kind of trying to take that approach to writing music, because I used to try to have like several different parts, and then it's just slowly been changing. But then again, when the drummer calls me out, okay, now I have to try something else. Thanks, Easton. It's okay. Yeah, it's all right. It's healthy. That's my tangent.
No, that's good.
No,
That's good.
I like it.
Yeah.
So how do you get unstuck with writer's block?
Let's see, I think in the past 10 years, I have had writer's block once or twice, and it was after really big life changes. So I don't think I touched guitar for like a month. And I asked Cisco about that, and he said, well, that's normally when you go through your phone and find things that we haven't messed with, and that's when we write a song. And that's when, let's see, Kraken came about from that, because I wrote that riff when I was maybe 19 years old, and we didn't make it a song until I was 22 or 23. So I'll go back to the catalog. And I'm glad I did that then, because my last phone got destroyed and I lost everything on it because I didn't have a SIM card. So I lost 5 years of back catalog. It's gone. So I had to start over.
That's another point.
It's been cathartic.
That's another one, like the
Cleansing.
catch having a solid book and then having data.
Yeah.
Like,
If you participate in the cloud, sure, you still have it.
Yeah.
If you forget about that being a subscription service and you don't pay your dues and you lose everything, then is it worth it? But if you have
Probably
Apple,
worth
isn't it all connected? It's on your computer, it's on your phone.
Game download.
Sort of.
Yeah, sort of. Okay.
I'm an IT nerd. I have backup servers, my own backup servers.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah.
I have for stuff upstairs for audio stuff. I have a drive that I record to, and then I have a backup drive for it, and then I have a very large old magnetic backup drive for both of those drives.
Yep. If you don't have it in 3 places, you don't have it.
Yep.
I'd like to spend some time
I don't
watching
have
you
it.
guys work with technology. I need to learn.
I don't got it.
I need to get with this new generation of electronics.
Smash one of them with a hammer. I'll still have all the tracks.
Yeah. I
Topher's
think the only thing I really understand is tape recorder.
I love a tape.
That and like actual
Those are
instrumental equipment.
Yeah.
I can run a PA. I just can't run a DAW to save my life.
It's all the same kind of.
Yeah, it's definitely like it's definitely its own skill. That's for certain.
Yeah.
So does location change your writing? Like quiet space, busy area, in the car, in the house.
My house could
Just
be on
curious.
fire, and if I'm in the mood, I could do it. It'd be
Okay.
fun. It might be a little more hasty.
Was it Willie Nelson said he writes better when he's hungry? I think it is. That was always his thing.
When he's hungry or when he has the munchies?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that's 1 for 1 for
Yeah.
him. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't he have a professional roller?
I couldn't tell you.
A weird side story when
curious.
too.
What?
this was when I was still in college, and
That's even more interesting.
and I was working at the Three Rivers Natural Food grocery place.
Yeah.
I worked there for several years as a grocery stocker, and it was like it was a Saturday or Sunday afternoon. And it wasn't we're really slow, and this person came in, and they needed help picking out groceries and finding things, and so I helped them pick out a bunch of peaches, and Willie Nelson apparently was playing here in town that day, and they were for him. That's awesome. they're like he's really particular about that, and I was like, I just picked out peaches for Willie Nelson. That's amazing.
That's
Amazing.
rad.
A little piece of you is imprinted on a peach that he got to hopefully eat while stoned off his ass.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna think about that every time I go
That
to
is-
co-op now.
That is not the. Yeah, right. That is not the job I expected you to have a Willie Nelson story about.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Apparently he only eats super healthy natural foods and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess that's
If I had that
compensating
kind of
for-
money, that would be all I would buy. Would be the best food possible. I have to settle in the middle.
All right, so nobody's affected.
I write well in the bathtub,
I've seen those pictures.
and I write well when I'm just zoning out at work. I guess that's there are better places for me, but nothing that limits me really.
That's why I have a plastic ukulele
Yeah.
right in the bathtub.
Ooh, nylon
Do
strings.
you only write
Yeah.
in your studio, or what about you?
No, I mean I write best when I'm not distracted, and so it just tends to be I like to be when there's not a lot of people around. I tend to write in the car because of that. Sometimes I when I'm first singing a song, I like to do it when no one can hear me.
That part's valid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Vocals are a little bit of a different story.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that is. I think it's just because I'm still. It's not even the vocal thing so much as the lyrics I'm not confident with yet.
Yeah.
That was always one thing that was kind of tricky with El Camino, was that I didn't have any instrument to play. It was just vocals, and I'm trying to write vocals and melodies to what they're performing, and it doesn't always fit at first. Like you gotta finesse what you're doing.
Lots of editing.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So it can be hard to get up on a mic and be like, just belt out what you're going for right away.
It'd be fun though. I haven't been just a vocalist in a band in a long time. I've always had a guitar.
I love it.
I've
It
never
is.
been.
It's more fun
Never
for energy and performing that way. I think I'd really rather prefer to just be a vocalist, but
Really? I think I'm finally past that anxiety of being on stage enough to where I could just hold a microphone and be okay. But I think that the past 10 years, if you had taken the guitar away, I'd probably cry.
I would shit my pants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
You know? I mean,
It's just no.
figuring out...
How many bands have you
how to
been the
be that
vocalist in,
vulnerable.
Chris?
Yeah, exactly. So it's also different as a wind instrument. I mean you performed choral stuff without anything in front of you. It's different with a wind instrument too, because it feels like there's a safety with a guitar or piano, because it's right up on you and you can't really move all that much. When you have when you have to worry about your breathing and all that stuff, it seems like it's this whole other thing, and that's the only thing you're thinking of is how you're breathing. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact,
Yeah,
I had some anxiety problems performing with brass instruments for a while, before my senior recital. Yeah, it was a little rough.
I think the only real anxiety I've ever had for performing was doing the solo classical guitar stuff in college, just having to walk out like that in just silent, with everyone just sitting there. It's like,
So
like you get used to playing like bars and like you're playing, but not everyone's not just sitting there staring.
Yeah, they're not making eye
Yeah.
contact with you. What are you thinking while you're playing this guitar?
Yeah.
So to fill you in on how, like, if you've never done anything classical guitar, like mine wasn't classical guitar either, but how some of the music schools do it with the juries, what you do every semester is you go out and you're in a dark room, like a dark performance hall.
Yeah.
There's 4 people, that's it, in the audience, all
Really?
sitting at a table like
All
this.
like professors, yeah.
They're all your high-level professors, dean of the department, taking notes. You walk out, you don't say a word, they just say, go ahead, you play your thing, you put your horn down when you're done, or stop playing guitar, I guess, and they just go, okay, thank you, scribble, 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 and you leave,
So
and that's
they're
it.
stoic the whole
Yeah,
time.
and they
Every semester.
That is
looking over
No,
their
does
glasses.
anything wow them?
It's literally like, over the glasses. And you're hoping.
That's a good comment, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That scribble's good, right?
I don't know how you guys did it, but there was some little bit of like reprieve for us. One, we sometimes would go out with our accompanist on piano, and usually your buddies who are right around the same time as your jury, because this is a scheduled event, are standing outside until like you walk out. Good job, man. That was good. Like, even though like everybody knows you. But at least they can sit there and tell you, like, they can lie to you so your nerves aren't up.
You're like, good job.
Yeah, exactly.
We were listening.
Yeah, well, you kind of wanted them
you-
to.
yeah.
Yeah, because, like, you needed somebody to tell you, like, hey, you didn't completely screw it over there, man. You know? Like,
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
dude, it is rough. Would not recommend.
But here you sit today intact. Well,
We're still
Broken on
Yeah.
the inside only.
so with that kind of education in music, when you write, the imagery in your head while you're writing, do you kind of see the notation and like how you would actually write it down, or is it still just like in the verbal language of music where you just feel it?
you go ahead.
Okay, so people always try to say like the you learn theory, you learn all this stuff. It kind of kills off the creativity, but like really it's compartmentalized so
Yeah.
much. Like it does help sometimes to at least have like the language to know like, yeah, all right. So my verses are C, F, G, A minor. I need something in there. Well, I know that like. Well, okay, let's do the math real quick. You know, D minor, E minor can be thrown in there if it's really like, if I want to stay standard. If I want to go way left field, okay, do the math. Well, E major isn't usually used. I can throw that in here. F sharp diminished really isn't used. Yeah, let's make it weird. Let's throw that in there. You can do that.
Throw
but
in a
like,
7.
It's like it's not. Usually, it's still just dick around and make things happen.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
I
how-
tend to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Just mess around until I find something.
Yeah, the math doesn't.
I think the timeline theory for me, the time theory like comes in handy, and having a better understanding of music is like, if I am working on a song and I'm dicking around, come up with something, I'm like, but this really needs a bridge for these other lyrics or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, man, where do like then I can sit there and think about, okay, what is the structure so far, and how can I modulate to something else? And those are the times where sometimes I'll think about it and I'll use the theory to go, okay, I could move into this key if I go through this pattern, things like that.
Yeah.
I use it more as a memorization tool because yeah, you guys know
That's why it's written.
y'all play in like multiple bands. Like if you got to learn 5 songs in a punk band, 5 songs doing like indie folk country, and then we're gonna do like these 10 covers. Like it's real easy to go. All right, 2 from here, 1 from here, 2 from here are all 1 4 5 1. Boom, got that down.
Yeah.
Just gotta like somebody told me the key at the beginning of this. That's pretty much it.
The other thing, as long as it's not like with guitar, it's weird because sometimes it's like riff based.
Yeah.
And then like so changing the key on that can sometimes be weird because you're like, oh, I got this open string. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna now not be open string. That doesn't really work.
Yeah.
So but if you're doing like songwriter stuff, especially if it's like just chordal structure stuff, like if I'm having a day where I'm like, no, my voice ain't doing that today. Like
Change
understanding, and I can go, okay, I'm just gonna do it in this key. And if it's like, okay, that was a minor 2. There's the 5s. Like, if you understand that, then you can go, okay, I've moved to this key, and I can still do it the same.
Yeah.
Or you can just go, hey, I'm feeling real lazy.
Or
Capo.
you can also just use a capo.
Yeah.
I've noticed when I write, I mean, now I've been experimenting more with writing with an electric guitar and using loop pedals, but traditionally I just write on an acoustic. And translating that to full band, I've noticed that the vocals get lost in the wash because there's too much mid-range going on. So what I've been doing in the more recent songs is just singing up another octave and kind of yelling it more. But then if I get tired or I'm doing an acoustic show, I can just bring it back down to the lower octave. The biggest thing is be quiet. Like, just don't play as loud.
Do you guys find, like, this is for all three of you, do you guys find that, like, you tend to stick towards certain keys more often, have to force yourself out of those keys? Because, like, I know, like, the few songs I'm producing, I tend to like being B flat or capo 3 and G or something. That works for me, but...
I think there was a time I did. Now it's just, I get stuck in the minor scale.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I love depressing sounding music.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially if you're in heavier stuff anyway, you're usually going to be in
Yeah.
minor, you're going to be in some sort of, like, Phrygian sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I did for a while. I think there were times where I can look and go, okay, that period of time, like I got stuck in these 3 or 4 patterns, or like in this couple keys. But I try not to do that so much anymore. I try and just play in whatever key makes sense for the song, like where I want the vocals to go, things like that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, there was a lot of E and A back towards the beginning, but like there was a comfort zone for my vocals. But I've learned how to adjust my vocals to different keys now. So no,
You might relate to this. I noticed that there's a difference, maybe not playing with other vocalists, but playing with keyboard players in particular. They like to go into more odd keys than guitarists and vocalists.
absolutely,
Yeah.
I feel like it makes it. I mean, it's easier because
Yeah.
it's right. It's all. It's so visual.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to think about where
You
anything
don't have
is.
this
Yeah.
offset by 5 and then offset
Yeah.
by 4 like you do on the guitar, where you're like, how am I going to build this?
Yeah.
It just takes longer for me to figure it out on guitar, whereas piano, even though I'm not proficient on it, I can just open up my my grimoire and be like, all right, here's my scales.
Yeah.
All right, these fit together.
Yep. I mean, it's easy to be like, oh, there's a whole step, there's a half step. Like, you
Yeah,
can-
it's just
Yeah.
it's
literally,
there.
like-
It's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fair. Cool. Okay.
I only had one other question, which is like kind of more about not about writing songs, but about listening. So when you listen to other songwriters, music from them, like what do you listen for? Like, for example, like narratives, visualizations, kind of the format of it, melodic stuff. What's the first thing that you would key in on?
Definitely the melodies and harmonies. I like lyrics, but I usually don't dig into lyrics on a song until like the 5th or 6th pass through listening to it. I'm like, oh, I didn't know they were talking about a Russian czar chopping somebody's head off and putting it in a glass box. Holy smokes. That's cool. But at first I'm like, oh, that sounds really pretty.
I think I gotta agree with that because like
Yeah.
there's that song that you sent recently that I didn't catch on to the first lyric.
Oh yeah.
Until like
Yesterday.
yeah, I didn't catch on to that lyric until I've several listens through. I'm like, oh, I like that. But yeah, I'm listening for the melodies.
I love songs that sound so like bitterly happy.
Yeah.
And you get to the lyrics and they're just debauchery.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful.
Simon and Garfunkel, Passenger. Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah. Makes me happy a little bit. Like you get to spread this pretty messed up story about life, because life is messed up out in general, but it gets to come in a happy package to where
Yes, my death
most
cab.
people will listen to it.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Or Manchester Orchestra.
Yes.
Or actually, Right Away Great Captain is still Andy Hall.
Yes.
He does 3 albums about a sailor walking in on his wife sleeping with his brother, and he loses his mind.
The Decemberists.
Oh.
That is like the most so beautifully happy and bouncy.
Yes.
But so bad lyrics, like so depressing lyrics.
Come the Archers.
Oh,
Yankee Bayonet.
that's where I'm at. Yeah, that's my stuff.
So, that's all we have for our topic. We are going to introduce the artist of the week, which will also be Tuesday Atlas. And it sounds like we have a featured song going on. You want to tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah, we have Legends of the Lake that we're going to play today. And, I've noticed with my songwriting that it means something different to me every time I think about it. But to me, like Legends of the Lake and Hell Has a Sound Out in general is about getting lost in your problems and not finding a way out. So I don't know why, but every time I think of the song, I think of when Tommy Boy is in the sailboat, just trapped out in the pond at the end. And I kind of use that imagery of just being caught out in the foster of the lake. Like you can't get out of it.
That is an
You just swim
interesting.
your way out.
That's an interesting image to put to that song.
Yeah.
I like it.
We're caught out in the foster of the lake, damaged and floating. Yeah.
All right. Well, then y'all know how it works. Just so that way none of us get a copyright flag. If you're on the audio side, we'll be putting that. We'll put the audio in on the audio side of the podcast. If you're on the YouTube side, we'll just put a link down to you so that way make it easier.
Sounds great.
Like I said, so that way neither of us get any sort of copyright crap going on.
Thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us,
Dude,
man.
it's been great.
Don't forget to go on and check out our Patreon, which is now open. We now have a Teespring store. I think, yeah. Adam is wearing our fancy Topher designed shirts out on the Teespring store. We also have the regular logo shirts. We've got coffee mugs. We've got hats. We've got all sorts of other stuff. I don't know what Topher I'll put on there. I'm sure it's mostly PG-13 or above. But other than that, don't forget to do the whole like and subscribe thing on whatever platform you're on. So next episode we are talking about some live sound stuff, right?
Yeah,
Sound guy
it's
stuff.
about working with your sound engineer at the gigs.
Yeah. And before we finally go, do you have anything you want to plug? Anything you want to talk about? Got anything coming out?
Oh
Got
yeah, we
anything-
have a new album coming out soon.
All right.
We're gonna release it 2 songs at a time, I believe, because the attention span of folks when you're just a little peon and a great C is we'll lose the album in 2 days if we just release it at once. So we're gonna do 2 songs at a time.
Okay.
And I don't know exactly when we're gonna start yet, but it's ready. We just have to get the artwork.
Gotcha. Very
So
cool.
hopefully in the next couple of months.
Okay.
Just stay tuned on all of our media. You'll see something happen soon.
This, I believe, is a March episode.
I think so.
Yeah, sometime in March is this
Yeah.
one's coming out. So yeah, we're on a little bit of a delay. Keep an eye out for that. Until next time, tune up.
Crank the volume.
Let it